Welcome back, everybody, to the daily show where we discuss and do technical analysis on big mega cap stocks. So, before we get started, please smash that like button, and 100 plus likes on this video would be greatly appreciated, guys. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now, if you want to support the channel and get my daily trade ideas, my swing trade ideas, live trading, and all kinds of setups, definitely check out their link down below in the description for Patreon. And now let's get right into it, guys. On Meta, it's down nearly 3%, came all the way down to, if you look at my screen, we actually broke under 13-day moving average 711 and then came all the way down to 706. But at the end, we kind of recaptured this 711 area right here, 13-day moving average, and where we got rejection before. So it was coming, guys, that Meta here, we could see a big pullback at some point, but also keep that in mind. Just because we got this pullback does not mean that dip buyers are not there. Again, they bought up the dip. Let's see, what Meta can do going into tomorrow's session. So there will be support right here at 711. 13-day moving average and the previous rejection now will act as a support. Underneath that level, you're going to see Meta pulling back down to 700, possibly down to 689, 20-day moving average, and then 682. To the upside, there will be resistance at 725. If we can clear that, then Meta heading back up to 740, possibly even 745. On AMD, it's up 1%, so AMD is still inside this bear flag or this mini rising wedge. Many different ways you can put it, but this thing definitely going up. So now the question here, are we going to come down and this bear flag will play out just like every other time before, or this is it right here? So AMD, if we can clear right here this 20-day moving average, which is sitting close to 116, I would say 116 breaks, and maybe what I want to see here on AMD, get over 118 and stay over that level. That would be more bullish for a move up to 122 to close this gap and retest this negative sloping 20-day moving average. Now there will be critical support right here on AMD 113, below that 110, and if this thing takes out 110, there will be significant selling on AMD. And here's my X account, and if you guys are on there, definitely give me a follow, and there is no subscription, nothing here on X is totally free, guys. Now if you look at my screen, I want to share this play with you guys right here in this video. And before all the news came out, who took what position and why it's hitting COVID lows again, Nike, look at this right here. It came out 8:54 a.m. February 7th right here. Nike will open swing at opening, buy area 70 to 71, and when the market opened 9:37 a.m., you can see right on my screen, let me make it bigger, it was actually trading at 69. So it took 75 calls. This is actually the second time I'm actually getting into the same strike, same date, within the last 4 months. Just a couple days ago it was trading at 78. We sold at 78 and then got back in again on Nike. And since then, I mean, it's, you can see 9:37 a.m. when market opened, it dropped, and I got in. It says long here, and since then, I mean, we've been riding on this thing, and this thing today exploded. So not only this trade, many other trades, and especially people that are serious about trading, if you want to learn and you want to make these kind of trades, definitely check out my link down below in the description for Patreon. It's worth every penny, guys. So Netflix also finally went down just over 2%, but nothing big. If you look at my screen, I mean, look at this, guys. 1029 held as a support, and this thing bounced off of that level, came slightly under, and now trading at 1035.36. So support also held, and you can see also holding rising 5-day moving average, which is sitting exactly at almost 1035. So this is going to be your key line in the sand, 1035 to 1029. Underneath that level, you'll see a flush down to 1013 and then maybe even flat 1000. As long as we're over 1035, watch out for a move back up to previous all-time highs from last Friday, 1064, and over that, this thing can move even higher, 1075. On Amazon, stock is down 0.89%. So this was a fantastic play. I took some calls right here at 224 exactly, and then it dipped, a little bit lower, And then just before closing, this thing went back up. I was actually trying to sell and it was almost 4 o'clock. So my order actually got rejected. I did not sell, finished in the green. And why I bought this, because this was the hope. If we get a hammer type candle, which we do right here on Amazon, and we get that breakout, guys. 230 breaks, this thing can fly. You can see it's kind of wedging or flagging, and it came underneath the lower Bollinger Band. So it was a perfect way to buy that dip, at least for today, and this thing went back up. So I'm not bullish on it unless this thing breaks and holds over 230. In that case, that's going to be a breakout from this wedge or this flag, and you're going to see continuation up to 233 to 234, and over that, this gap might come into play at 236. Now, if this thing comes back and takes out bottom of this channel, which is 224, 225, then you're going to see continuation to the downside. 220 next stop, 216, and then 214 this gap fill reversal. On Google, stock is down 0.5%. So I'm telling you guys, I know a lot of the moves are happening in the market. Like in Apple, we saw a big move up on Tesla last week, end of the week. We're seeing a move on Nvidia. That gap got filled today from deep sig gap down. So that was fantastic. I had about 500 shares and pretty much all out today, completely out of my position because earnings are also coming on Nvidia. I think in just a matter of 2-3 weeks. And now the next move here, I think it's going to happen whether we come down to this gap or from here. Get ready for a big move to the upside on Google stock. So Google and Microsoft, I think these two are lining up for a rally back up to the upside. It might not happen tomorrow, may not happen this week, but what I'm telling you that, it just sitting here, it's not gonna sit here for too long. We all know how these mega cap stocks, if they're sitting for 2-3 weeks, at some point you're going to see news or something where this thing is going to gap up, or finally the news will come out when market is actually open, and you're going to see this thing moving back up to the upside. So I think opportunity is right here on Google. Opportunity might be here on some of the other names, like what was the other one, names like AMD. These things can actually do really well in next couple weeks. Now, with that being said, you got to manage your risk. And why? Because market trading at all-time highs, guys. Yes, it's bullish. That's why we're trading at all-time highs. But also keep that in mind. The more we go up, there is a huge chance that we get a correction, things pull back, and things can come down. But I think if you're looking for a dip, it's right here. Definitely Google is one. AMD, I've been talking about it, already went up quite a bit from where I started talking about it. And I think the next move will happen Google, Microsoft, and AMD. Unless we get some really bad news, which we all know there are lots of bad data out there, guys. Inflation is really bad right now. Tariff, and then a lot of people are getting fired, especially from their government jobs. So I mean, it's just insane what's happening, and market just seems to shrug everything off and continues higher. And there was those VIX calls that came in last Friday, and I did show you guys those in my video over the weekend. So Google, while it's holding over 184, then that's gonna be the key line in the sand. Underneath that level opens the door for a move down to 180, and then this gap 178. To the upside, there will be resistance at 187, over that 190, 193, 195, and then this thing making a move up to 200 right here. On Tesla, stock is down 0.5%, so Tesla is all over the place, and you can see came down, went back up, and pretty much sideways all day down to 350, came back up to 354, and there will be support now here on Tesla right here at 346, your key line in the sand, 5-day moving average. Underneath that level, you're going to see a flush down to 330, and then this gap comes into play just under 325. Now, Tesla can clear, which is the case for last 2-3 trading session. This thing needs to clear 362. If that happens, you're going to see a little bit more upside up to this negative sloping 13-day moving average, right here, 367. And over that, we might come back up, and there will be a retest right here on bottom of this wedge, which is at 375. So Tesla definitely, it's bearish to neutral. I would not call this a bullish move here on Tesla until we get over 375. On Apple stock, it's absolutely flat on the day. So Apple, I know what the game is here. They're trying to close this gap and possibly push it even higher. So Apple, I mean, it's just insane. You can see the drop here today and did not even touch 50-day moving average. They bought the dip before that. I was actually thinking about going in here weekly calls, but then I thought about it like, this is not the, dip that I want for $2-3 back up to the upside. Not really worth it. So I did not get in. But this thing you're gonna see here, the dip was bought up and we got a long wick here on bottom of this candle and this thing went back up. So now you can see slowly upper Bollinger Band moving up. So if this thing is able to hold over 240, 241, 50-day and 5-day moving average, I think clearly can make a move up to this gap just under 250. Now, if we actually come down and Apple fails to hold right here at 240, 241, you're going to see it drop down to 237, 235, 233, and then 230. Microsoft is up 0.30%, so absolutely flat on the day. And you can see just consolidating since that breakdown from earnings and not really going anywhere. So Microsoft here now, there will be resistant at, if you look at my screen, 410, 5-day moving average. If we can get over that, there will be resistant at 413. And over that level, it's going to look a lot more better, not bullish for a move up to possibly 420. Now, Microsoft to the downside looks like it's finding support here at 405 to 404. And underneath that level, quickly you're going to see a flush down to 400 and then even 390. On Nvidia stock, it's absolutely flat on that day. Now, let me talk about it. You guys already saw that play where I actually got out of Nvidia. All my shares, calls, long calls that we took, everything completely sold and out of it. Now, Nvidia is the best stock in the market in my view, especially when it comes down to buying the dip. And why? Because I bought the dip right here. I bought the dip right here. I don't trade Nvidia here in this chop zone. I bought the dip right here twice. 117 and at the end I think near 113, pretty much at the bottom. Today this thing paid, and guess what? Gap fill reversal definitely happened. Took some puts, and it was also posted in my trading community for the Patreon members that 143, 145 ish will be an area where I'm looking to short Nvidia 140 puts, and this thing paid. Now you can see how well this thing went back up. This gap down from DeepSeek gap down right here completely closed, and then we got that gap full reversal to the downside. So Nvidia paid, buying the dip, Nvidia shorted, got money, and now there is no position on Nvidia, and I'm not even interested buying Nvidia here because a lot of people they bought here, they buy here. I'm not buying inside this chop box. Target was the gap here, and I said it so many times in my video that I'm in here. I'm not gonna sell until we fill this gap here, and I think it's gonna go there. Well, how many days? Just 2.5 weeks. Huge, guys. I mean, if you're trading for maybe a couple of years, you'll know exactly what I'm saying. Just one stock alone, if you're buying the right time on the right stock like Nvidia, you can make a ton of money. You can see how well that actually worked out, and not only once. This dip back in August 5th, we bought, boom. This dip right here, also boom. Now here, I did not trade Nvidia because it was a chop box. I saw that dip. We went under daily 200 SMA, so it was a perfect buying opportunity, and we did the perfect trade on Nvidia and got out. And I'm probably not even gonna try to short again and do nothing with Nvidia. Just watch, until earnings. So going into tomorrow's session, 136, your key line in the sand. If this thing wants to continue, there will be resistance at 144.56, and over that, you're going to see a retest of previous all-time highs on Nvidia stock. And that's all I have for you guys in this video.